Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. Second guitar on the bench today. I didn't want to start this one today, but we're going to, because I got looking at it and I realized, well, what the guy asked for and what is actually happening is two different things. Let's get to work. So it's a classical guitar. Can you restring it and clean it up a little bit with what he wants is high tension or heavy tension strings, because he's going to tune it down, I guess, for flamenco or some sort of different tuning to play a specific type of music. Two things right off. There were no strings on it when I got it. There was a bunch of gaggle of broken strings up here. I cleaned all that off. And while I was doing that, I realized, well, these tuning machines are pretty well gacked. So I put a little bit of lube and oil on them, got them so I think they're going to be okay when we get to restringing. Right away, the nut came out. That's really common on an older guitar that has probably been sitting around and not playing for a long time. The glue dries up, it pops right out. So we're going to clean that up. When I got it, again, no strings, and there was no saddle in it at all. So I took a little bit of time between jobs today, and I made a saddle for it. I had not so much a blank, but it is a bone. It sounds nice. It's a bone or ivory composite, as it were. And you can see the lines that I have on there and little X marks. Get rid of that stuff. So I got it. And by the way, it was probably that much too long. So I cut a piece off and I got it whittled down to where I'm happy with it and I think we'll be okay. These type of guitars have no radius. They're completely flat. So there is no radius to the saddle, and I don't know where the string action will play once I get these up there, but I'm through experience and doing a lot of guitars, I'm just kind of guessing at it. That's one. Second problem. Third problem, we tried to fix that. We don't know until we start to string it up and put tension with heavy tension strings on a classical guitar. Oh, by the way, there's no name on this guitar. There's no truss rod. There's no... It's going to be put it together and make it play. This is your mission should you decide to accept it. 1, 2, 3 problems I found already. Third problem, you will notice a piece of what I would call veneer on a real classical, a high-end classical guitar. This is the bridge, this is the saddle, and the strings go through here and you tie your noose and restring. It's missing a piece right here. This is right at this point is where the high E comes across there, and it's supposed to go across. This thing is supposed to be all the way over to the end, which it's not. I'm not going to build a new one of these. I think this is probably plastic, but what we're going to do is we're going to remove it and we're going to slide it down, because the low E is right there, which means we have this much laminate left. The high E is right there, so if we take it all off and shift it to about there, we'll be okay. We're going to re-glue it. So if everything goes to plan, oh, by the way, it was lifted up on this side, so yeah, thank God for little small favors. We're just going to continue to try to take it off of here. We don't know how this is going to work out. It seems to want to just separate, so it looks like it's coming right off. I don't know what kind of glue they used, but I think we're going to be okay. And the survey says, yeah, it is not a piece of veneer. And normally on a higher end guitar, that would be a piece of veneer on there that the strings ride over. They kind of made it look like it was a piece of veneer, as if it had wood grain and what have you, but that's okay. We're going to clean off the glue here. We're going to try to clean some of this glue off. That's really not that important. The main thing is that the string has a place to go over that and not just grind into the wood here, because eventually it will let go. You want to give it a nice spot to ride over there to where the noose, on a classical guitar, you got to tie a noose right over that thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to pause while I clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to attempt to reattach this and make it at least look presentable and play right when I put it back together. Yeah, it's the crazy things that people ask me to do. Just put some strings on it and, do this and that. Well, there was no saddle. The nut came out. It was missing a piece of the bridge laminate over here, so the string wasn't even getting on that. So we removed it, and we're going to move it down slightly and split the difference is basically what we're going to do. Yeah, follow? Yeah. All right, stand by. All right, I'm going to try to illustrate this. We have the surface cleaned off. All I did was take an X-Acto knife and clean off the old glue. This is a little bit tacky, and I'm okay with that. We're going to try to split the difference so that every string has a piece of that laminate to run over. Now, what we're using is medium CA glue. It's not super thin, and it's real tricky stuff to work with. Refer to other videos. So what we're going to do is put some right down here. Just a little dab will do you. And you got to watch it. Little tiny. Here it comes. And I'm just going to kind of cover where we need to put our laminate. And then that's it. Undo it and get it to breathe so that it doesn't continue to come out at the end. Because that stuff, you have to keep it in the freezer, otherwise it doesn't last. Excuse me. And then put it right on there. Could you use super glue? Yeah, I suppose. But this stuff is better. And, any squeeze out that you get it off right away. Now this is gonna set up pretty quickly, like it already did, and I'm okay with that. And what we're gonna do is put a couple of, I don't call them bricks, whatever you want to call them, just to weight it down so that it stays there. All right? Boy, this stuff is nasty. Nasty stuff to work with. Nastiness. Boy, if you get that on your fingers, yep. I'll see you when you get out of the emergency room. it shut. And yeah, goes back in the freezer. That is going to work fine. The weight of these will hold it in place, and then I can restrain it. That stuff will dry in about 10 minutes. Now, we're not going to finish this video in 10 minutes. Don't get ahead of yourselves. What we're going to do now is probably just clean up this nut. The string nut popped out, and yeah, that happens almost every single time on one of these guitars. We're just going to clean up. Again, X-Acto knife, get the old glue off. The side and the bottom. Because if there's any little bit of it left, when you put it in there, it could hold it up this way or that way. And you don't want that. So the side that goes up against the neck, the fretboard, and especially the bottom, because that can hold, if there's old pieces of glue or a piece of tear out from the wood when it came out, that can raise the first fret action up or down. You don't want that. Pretty simple stuff. You'll know it's clean when it's smooth. And different kind of super glue I use on this. First test fit it, make sure there's no crap down in there. And that it sits in there smoothly. And use your fingertip to know where to set it. And there is nothing down in there. It popped right out. Any glue that was holding it in stuck to the nut itself. Yeah. So I use super hard, super fast. It's just Loctite brand. This shit is really quick. You're going to put a little bit, and I mean a little bit, on the leading surface that goes against the fretboard, and just a dollop right in the middle. And that's it. As quickly as you put it on there and set it, get it where you want it, because just that fast it sets. Yep. Yahtzee. You don't even really need to put a clamp on it. Clean off any excess, any squeeze out. That isn't going anywhere. Nice and smooth. All right. You follow? And if you put it in there backwards, good luck getting it out, because that's going to stay for another 10 years. I mean, after a week or so, I could probably pop it out of there, but we don't need to do that. That is today's video. Now, we're going to clean up the frets. We're going to oil the board, you know, and we're going to clean up the guitar. We're waiting for that to glue. It never ceases to amaze me. Just throw strings on it, and I want these kind of strings. It shouldn't be anything else. Well, yeah, it was a lot else. Yeah, it was a lot else. I had to fabricate a saddle because there wasn't one. Where's the saddle? I don't know. I thought there was one in there. There's a saddle missing? Yup. The nut popped out, and of course the laminate, call it whatever you want, where the strings run over the bridge, there's supposed to be a piece of laminate hardwood veneer there. In this particular case, it's probably a cheaper material. So that's where we're at with this. When we come back, we're going to do step 2, and that'll be cleaning it and putting strings on it and making it play again. Nondescript little classical guitar. I don't care. Every instrument deserves to play as well as it can possibly play. That's what we do here. It's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. We'll talk soon, and by all means, share.